Have you ever felt like life is passing you by, while others are living their dream? What if I told you, God wants to use you too? Welcome to Book Verse. Here, we cover powerful self-help books. Every video helps you learn something new to grow, change, and level up your life. If you want to grow with us, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Book Verse. Let's dive into the first chapter. Chapter 1. The Lies We Believe About Ourselves. Have you ever stopped to think about yourself? Why do you trust others more than yourself? Why do you give credit to everyone else, while you settle for scraps of your potential? This is not a coincidence. This is a pattern, a cycle, a chain. A series of lies you allowed into your mind. It is time to stop believing them. You have a choice. You always have a choice. You can continue to live under these lies, or you can begin to see yourself through God's eyes. That is the key. That is the foundation of everything that follows. You do not need their permission. You do not need anyone to tell you you are enough. You already are enough right now. Most people live their life based on others' opinions. They live based on fear or insecurity. It is exhausting to live this way, but because it is not your life. You are not meant to shrink or wait or hide. God created you with a purpose and identity. That identity is real, powerful, and waiting for you. The first lie you must confront is this: you are not enough. Think about it. How often do you feel not enough? How often do you compare yourself to others and say they are better, smarter, or stronger? That is the lie. That is the enemy speaking. It is only powerful because you allow it. You have a choice. You can continue, or you can replace it with the truth. The truth is simple. You are enough. You have what it takes. God gave everything to operate at full potential. That is the key. It is not about talent. It is not about intelligence. It is not about how other people see you. It is about your willingness to see yourself through God's eyes. That is discipline. That is commitment. That is courage. Stop waiting for validation. Stop waiting for permission. You already can. You already are enough. You do not need their permission. You have a choice. Self-doubt is the silent killer of potential. It does not shout. It whispers softly. It creeps in and says, you cannot or should not. You are not ready. Most people listen. Most people obey that voice. That is how dreams die. That is how potential is wasted. Here is the truth. Self-doubt is not real. It is a thought. And thoughts can be challenged. Thoughts can be replaced. Thoughts can be conquered. You have a choice. You can reject self-doubt and step into your calling. That is the key. Unworthiness is not something you are born with. It is something you learn over time. Society teaches it. Culture teaches it. Family teaches it. You are told, often without realizing it, that you are not enough. You cannot succeed. You are not deserving. The longer you believe this, the stronger it becomes. It becomes a script you follow without question. A script that shapes identity. Here is the good news. You can change that script. You can write your story. You can see yourself the way God sees you. That is transformation. That is power. That is freedom. You have a choice. Internal scripts are subtle, but they are everywhere. You hear them in your thoughts and self-talk. I am not ready, not talented, not capable. Someone else is better. These are lies. Every single one of them. The moment you recognize them, they lose power. The moment you name them, you can change them. You can replace them. You can stop obeying them. You have a choice. You do not need permission. You do not need approval. You are enough. That is the key. God's truth is simple. God does not see you the way the world sees you. God does not measure worth by failures, success, or approval. God sees your heart, your potential, your identity. God has a plan for you. You have a choice. You can live under lies or operate in the truth of God's view. That is the key. When a thought of unworthiness enters, stop it immediately. Say to yourself, "This is not true. God created me. God created me with purpose. God created me with identity. I am enough." Repeat this. Reinforce it. Practice it. You are training your mind. You are training your identity. That is discipline. That is action. That is transformation. You have a choice. Choose truth over lies. Comparison is the enemy of joy. Comparison is a thief. When you compare, you tell yourself, God's plan is not enough. Your calling is not enough. Your gifts are not enough. Stop comparing. Stop measuring by others' standards. You have a choice. You can see yourself the way God sees you. You can step into destiny. That is the key. The question changes everything. Why not you? Why not now? Why should someone else? Walk in the calling while you remain silent. You have a choice. Step forward. Say yes to identity. Say yes to purpose. That is discipline. That is courage. That is faith. That is transformation. You do not need permission. You do not need approval. You already have what you need. You are ready. Why not you? That is the key. Most people wait for permission. They wait for validation. They wait for signs. They wait for someone to say, "You are ready. You can do this." Truth is simple. Permission is not required. You do not need anyone to tell you you are enough. You do not need anyone to say you are ready. You have authority over your life. God gave you power. You have what it takes. That is the key. Every morning say, "I am enough. I am ready. God gave me everything. I will step into purpose today." Repeat it. Speak it aloud. Let it sink into bones. This is training, preparation, claiming identity. You have a choice. Now, do not wait. That is the key. If you believe lies, you remain stuck. You hesitate, procrastinate, shrink, avoid risks, ignore opportunities, settle for less than potential. If you believe truth, you act. You move. You grow. You step into challenges. Take responsibility. Operate in gifts. Achieve purpose. You have a choice. Choose truth. That is the key. Say it again. You are enough. You have what it takes. You do not need permission. You have a choice. The lies you believed are strong, but not permanent. Self-doubt, unworthiness, comparison, fear, all temporary. Step into God's view. Step into identity. Refuse lies. Transform. That is the key. That is your power. You have everything you need. You are ready. You are capable. You are enough. And the question remains, why not you? You challenged fear. You confronted lies. You saw identity. Now, step into the next lesson. Chapter 2, Created with Purpose, the calling on your life. You were born with a purpose. Not by accident. Not by mistake. God gave you a plan, a calling, a destiny. Even before you understood life, it was written. Purpose begins before awareness, before knowledge, before choice. It exists inside you, waiting to be claimed. Many people live without purpose. They wander. They follow the crowd. They settle. They wait. They ignore the whisper inside. The pull toward destiny. You cannot ignore it forever. That pull is real. It is God speaking. It is life calling. It is your reason for being here. The fear of starting stops most people. Fear whispers lies. You are not ready. You cannot. Wait. Do not listen. Fear is a liar. Fear delays destiny. God plants your calling long before you feel ready. You have a choice. Step forward or stay silent. Step forward. That is the key. That is discipline. Everyone is born with divine intention. God's plan is unique. It is personal. It is yours. No one else can do your work. No one else can walk your path. Your purpose is waiting for action. The first step is seeing it. The second step is believing it. The third step is taking it. That is courage. Some people search for meaning in life. They look everywhere except inside themselves. They follow trends. They chase money, status, or recognition. But nothing fills the void except purpose. Purpose is what wakes you up before sunrise. Purpose is what pushes you when everyone rests. Purpose is what makes you unstoppable when fear wants you to stop. Recognizing the inner pull toward destiny is essential. God places nudges, small signs, subtle clues. You feel it in your heart, your mind, your dreams. It is quiet. It is subtle. It is persistent. Do not ignore it. Do not silence it. Follow it even if the path is unknown. That is faith. The fear of starting is normal. Everyone feels it. Even the strongest, most confident, most talented people hesitate before the first step. That is human. But the difference between success and staying stuck is action. You take the step. You move forward. You do not wait for permission. You do not wait for validation. You do not wait for perfect conditions. That is the key. God plants destiny long before readiness arrives. It is like a seed. Small, hidden, unseen. It grows slowly beneath the surface in darkness. You water it with faith. You nurture it with discipline. You protect it from doubt. You believe it against fear. Then one day it bursts forth. It becomes reality. That is how purpose works. That is how destiny unfolds. Every human is unique. Every calling is unique. No one has your combination of talents, experiences, gifts. No one has your story, your struggles, your lessons. Your purpose is designed just for you. Stop comparing. Stop doubting. Stop waiting for someone to tell you you are ready. You are ready. That is the key. Purpose is not about perfection. It is about action. You do not need every answer. You do not need clarity on all steps. You do not need approval from others. You need courage. You need faith. You need persistence. Step forward. Take action. Do something. That is discipline. That is the way to uncover your calling. That is transformation. When you resist the pull toward destiny, life feels empty. You feel restless. You feel unfulfilled. You feel stuck. You blame circumstances. You blame others. You blame yourself. But the truth is simple. You are resisting yourself. You are resisting God's plan. You are resisting your identity. The solution is simple. Take action, even if small. Step into purpose. Follow the pull. That is the key. The first step is listening. Listen to your heart. Listen to the inner voice that nudges, whispers, pushes. It is not a random thought. It is divine guidance. Write it down. Reflect on it. Pray about it. Act on small steps. Build momentum. That is how faith grows. That is how purpose becomes real. That is transformation. Fear is not a sign to stop. Fear is a sign. You are near what matters. Fear is natural, temporary, human. Do not let fear dictate your life. Do not let fear silence the calling. Face it. Step into it. Move forward. That is courage. That is action. That is faith in God's plan. Every great life began with small steps. Abraham left home without knowing the full path. Moses led people without knowing all answers. David fought giants, despite doubts. Jesus started his ministry in fear, in uncertainty. Your life is no different. Purpose begins even if small. Take the first step, then the next, then the next. God gives preparation, sometimes slow, sometimes invisible. Do not confuse waiting with being late. Do not confuse obstacles with failure. Everything is designed to train, teach, and prepare you. Trust the process. Trust God's timing. Keep moving. Every step forward, even if imperfect, strengthens you. Every lesson learned builds character. That is preparation for destiny. Repetition is essential. Hear it and remember it. You were born with a purpose. You have a calling. Purpose begins before awareness. Recognize the pull. Follow it. Do not let fear stop you. God planted your destiny. Step forward. Take action. That is discipline. That is courage. That is transformation. You have a choice. Claim it. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Perfect moments rarely exist. Waiting leads to wasted years. Waiting leads to regret. Action leads to clarity. Action leads to growth. Action leads to discovery. The first step does not need perfection. It needs courage. The first step is obedience. The first step is trust. Take it. Take another. Keep moving. That is progress. Your gifts are tools. Your experiences are preparation. Your struggles are lessons. Your dreams are clues. Your passion is fuel. Your fear is a signal. Do not ignore these signs. Do not dismiss nudges. They are pointing you toward the calling, toward destiny, toward purpose. Follow them relentlessly. That is discipline. That is courage. That is the life God designed for you. That is the key. You are ready. You have everything you need. Do not doubt. Do not delay. Do not shrink. The calling within you is real. It is powerful. It is meant to be lived. It is meant to be shared. Take action today. Step forward. That is the key. Here is another reinforcement. Repeat it daily. I was born with purpose. I have a calling. I do not need permission. I do not need validation. I will follow the pull. I will take action. I will step into my destiny. I will live my purpose. Remember, everyone is born with divine intention. Purpose begins before self-awareness. Recognize the inner pull. Fear will come. Step into it. God planted destiny long ago. It is waiting for you. It is ready for you. Your action is the spark. Your obedience is the fuel. Your faith is the key. That is discipline. That is courage. That is transformation. That is the life you were born to live. Now you understand the first step. You understand readiness does not matter. You understand divine timing. You understand fear is normal. Step forward, claim your calling. Move toward your purpose. Next chapter will show how to face and conquer obstacles. Chapter 3, Childhood Foundations, Growing Up as a Coda. Ed Newton grew up in a unique world. Both of his parents were deaf. From a young age, he learned responsibility and faced challenges most children never face. Life with deaf parents was not simple. Everyday tasks, every conversation, every interaction required patience, observation, and understanding. Ed became the interpreter, the translator, the bridge. He carried burdens that were not meant for a child. But this burden built character and inner strength. Children often see their parents as guides and teachers. Ed's parents taught him by example and silence. He learned empathy from listening carefully, observing closely. He learned to understand others without words. He learned patience because life demanded it. These lessons, though subtle, became the foundation for his calling, for his purpose, for his identity. Early challenges shaped him in ways he would not recognize until later in life. Responsibility became normal. Isolation became familiar. He learned to navigate the world, alone at times, and to stand strong, even when scared or uncertain. These experiences, though painful, were hidden preparation. Pain has a way of teaching lessons silently. Ed experienced frustration, confusion, and loneliness. He felt different, misunderstood, and sometimes invisible. Most children play freely. Ed had to act early. He carried weight most adults would struggle to carry. And yet, this weight became strength. It developed resilience, courage, and empathy, qualities that would define his life and calling. Being a coda meant living in two worlds. He lived in the world of silence and sound. He learned to navigate both without complaint. He learned communication beyond words. He learned patience, understanding, and sensitivity to the needs of others. These skills became the invisible tools that God would later use for his purpose. The responsibility started early and was constant. From interpreting doctors, teachers, and neighbors to handling emergencies and family needs, Ed became the adult in many situations. This built confidence. It built awareness. It built a deep understanding of human nature. You see, hardship, when embraced, is training. Pain, when faced, becomes preparation. That is the key. Empathy is developed through experience and struggle. Ed learned to feel deeply, to understand silently. He became attuned to emotions, needs, and intentions. This ability to read the heart was a gift born of circumstance. And gifts, even hidden, are powerful. The challenge is recognizing them and acting. You have a choice to see hardship as pain or as preparation. That is discipline. That is growth. Isolation, though hard, taught independence. Ed learned to think for himself. He learned to act. He learned not to rely on others, because life sometimes demands self-reliance. This independence became a cornerstone for his future. No one else can walk your path, and no one else can prepare you fully for the challenges God placed ahead. You have a choice. Embrace responsibility, embrace preparation. That is the key. That is growth. Hardship also develops perspective. Ed saw life through a lens few children do. He understood struggle. He understood pain. He understood love. He realized early that life is not always fair. And this realization, though uncomfortable, was valuable. It taught humility. It taught compassion. It taught purpose. You do not waste experience. You convert it into skill. You convert pain into empathy. You convert struggle into strength. That is discipline. That is preparation. That is transformation. Every obstacle, Every challenge, every moment of doubt, was a lesson in disguise. Ed learned patience. He learned observation. He learned awareness. These are skills most adults take years to develop. God uses early life experiences to shape future calling. The pain you feel, the challenges you face, are not meaningless. They are preparation. They are training. You have a choice. You can complain or learn. You can resist or embrace. That is the key. Ed's foundation was built on responsibility, observation, and empathy. His childhood, though unconventional, prepared him for the purpose that God had placed inside of him long before he knew it. The lessons of silence and burden became tools of communication, influence, and leadership. The foundation of his calling was forged through struggle, hardship, and quiet discipline. Children of deaf adults, or codas, often grow differently. They learn responsibility early. They see struggle firsthand. They understand needs before they are spoken. They carry weight that most never see. And in this weight, there is hidden blessing. It is not obvious at first. It is subtle. But when recognized, it becomes power. It becomes insight. You have a choice. Recognize the gift or ignore it. That is the key. Ed also learned courage in silence. He learned to speak up for others. He learned to act when no one else could. These lessons were tough and sometimes painful, but they were essential. They created resilience and strength of character. That is preparation. That is discipline. That is readiness for destiny. The foundation of calling is always formed early. It is hidden in daily life. It is subtle. It is built in moments of challenge and responsibility. God sees these moments. God uses them. He transforms difficulty into skill. He transforms pain into insight. Your childhood experiences, your struggles, your burdens, are not random. They are preparation. They are shaping tools. You have a choice. See them as training, not punishment. That is the key. Empathy, resilience, patience, courage, and awareness are all developed in response to hardship. Ed's life is proof. Early struggles, though hard, built tools for later purpose. Pain, carried well, becomes power. Responsibility, embraced early, becomes leadership. Silence, observed carefully, becomes understanding. You have a choice. Turn difficulty into opportunity. That is discipline. Even small challenges shape character and readiness. Every moment matters. Every task matters. Every responsibility, no matter how small, contributes to building the person God intends to use. Ed's early life demonstrates this principle clearly. God prepares calling through experience. God trains purpose through challenge. God shapes identity through hardship. You have a choice. Notice it. Embrace it. That is the key. The foundation for later calling is built now. No preparation is wasted. No struggle is meaningless. Every obstacle, every burden, every moment of doubt is shaping strength, empathy, and readiness. Ed's childhood, though difficult, prepared him to walk boldly into purpose with courage, confidence, and insight. This is the lesson. Embrace preparation. Embrace challenge. Embrace the foundation that God builds inside you. You have a choice. That is discipline. That is courage. Now, think about your life. What challenges shape you? What burdens teach empathy? What struggles build strength? Every experience is a lesson every hardship a gift. Do not resist it. Do not ignore it. Recognize it. Learn from it. Apply it. That is growth. That is preparation for purpose. That is transformation. Ed mastered responsibility, empathy, and observation early. He converted pain into insight. He converted struggle into skill. This foundation prepared him for the calling that God had written before he was born. Your foundation, your struggles, your early life can also be transformed into tools for purpose. You have a choice. You decide how you respond. That is the key. That is growth. That is your power. Childhood builds the foundation for identity and destiny. Hardship, responsibility, isolation, and empathy shape strength. Pain becomes preparation. Challenge becomes discipline. Every moment is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to prepare. Ed's story shows it. Your story can reflect it too. Recognize, embrace, convert. Step forward, claim your identity. That is courage. That is discipline. That is readiness. That is transformation. That is the life you were born to live. Next, you will see how belief and identity intertwine with purpose and calling. Chapter 4: Battle of the Mind. Overcoming limiting beliefs. Ed was only 10 years old. He was a child living a simple life. He did not think about destiny. He did not think about purpose. He only wanted food, fun, and peace. One normal day, he walked into McDonald's. It was an ordinary moment. Nothing special. Nothing dramatic. Just a simple day, like any other day. But purpose does not need a special stage. Destiny does not wait for perfect timing. God speaks when you least expect it. That is the key. Ed stood in line, waiting for his meal. Then a woman walked toward him. He had never seen her. She did not know his name. She did not know his story. Yet she looked at him with bold confidence, with deep certainty, with strange authority. She pointed at him and spoke clear words. God will use you in a great way. Ed froze. He did not understand. He felt confused. He felt unsure. He felt stunned by words he was not ready for. He was just a kid. He was not thinking about calling. He was not thinking about destiny. He was not thinking about God's plan. He only wanted his meal. Yet in that moment, something shifted. A seed dropped into his heart. A seed of purpose. A seed of identity. A seed of destiny. God plants seeds before he reveals plans. God whispers first, then guides later. God prepares you early, even when you feel young. Even when you feel weak, even when you feel unready. You have a choice. You can ignore the whisper or you can notice it. That is the key. Ed stood in silence. He felt the weight of her words. He felt the truth behind her voice. He felt something inside him come alive. But he also felt fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of responsibility. Fear of the future. Fear of expectation. This is normal. Every calling begins with confusion. Every purpose begins with uncertainty. Every destiny begins with a small, quiet moment. That is how God works. God does not shout. God whispers. God does not force. God invites. God does not push. God prepares. Ed did not know what to do with this message. He wondered why a stranger would say it. He wondered what God wanted from him. He wondered if he was truly chosen or not. This is the battle of early purpose. You feel chosen but also scared. You feel called but also unsure. You feel something inside you, but you do not know how to name it. You have a choice. You can walk forward or step back. You can lean in or run away. That is discipline. That is courage. The woman's message stayed in his mind. It followed him home. It echoed in his heart. It grew in his memory. It lingered day after day. God will use you in a great way. Those words became a seed. And every seed waits for time. Every seed waits for nurture. Every seed waits for the right season. That is how God works. He plants before you see fruit. He calls before you see path. He prepares you before you feel ready. You have a choice. Ed did not tell many people. He did not understand the meaning. He did not know why she chose him. He did not know why that moment happened. But the message stayed. It stayed because purpose sticks. It stayed because destiny stays. It stayed because God plants deep. When God places something inside you, it does not die. It may sleep, but it does not die. It may hide, but it does not fade. It may wait, but it does not disappear. That is the key. Every calling begins like this. You feel something. You sense something. You hear something. But you do not understand fully. That is normal. Purpose begins as confusion. Destiny begins as curiosity. Identity begins as a whisper. You have a choice. You can ignore it or explore it. You can deny it or grow with it. That is discipline. The woman in McDonald's never returned. She appeared once. She spoke once. She disappeared. This shows something important. God can use anyone. God can speak through anyone. God can send a message through a moment. You just need to be awake enough to notice it. Ed remembered her voice. He remembered her face. He remembered her confidence. It was not normal confidence. It was spiritual confidence. It was certainty without doubt. That confidence shook him. Because confidence reveals truth. Confidence reveals intention. Confidence reveals authority. The woman did not ask permission to speak. She did not ask if he believed. She did not ask how he felt. She simply delivered the message. That is calling. Calling does not wait for your comfort. Calling does not wait for your maturity. Calling does not wait for your approval. Calling arrives when God decides. You have a choice. You can accept the call or resist it. Ed had questions. He wondered if God truly saw him. He wondered if he was special. He wondered if he had a purpose. He wondered if he was chosen. These questions matter. Because questions reveal desire. Questions reveal readiness. Questions reveal curiosity. And curiosity is the first step toward calling. You do not need full understanding. You only need awareness. That is the key. The prophecy planted something powerful. It gave him a picture. It gave him direction. It gave him identity. It gave him hope. Hope is the beginning of faith. Hope becomes vision. Vision becomes direction. Direction becomes discipline. Discipline becomes destiny. You have a choice. You can ignore the seed or water it. You can forget the message or follow it. You can fear the calling or grow with it. Ed's life proves something important. God uses ordinary moments. God uses normal days. God uses simple places to deliver powerful messages. A restaurant, a stranger, a sentence, a seed. That is all God needs. You do not need fireworks. You do not need signs in the sky. You do not need a loud voice. God begins small. God begins quiet. God begins unexpectedly. That is the key. This moment would stay with Ed for years and years and years. Because real purpose never leaves. Sometimes the seed planted at 10 becomes the calling lived at 20. Sometimes the message heard in childhood becomes the mission embraced in adulthood. Sometimes the whisper in silence becomes the voice you speak to others. Your job is simple. Recognize the seed. Protect the seed. Honor the seed. Grow the seed. You have a choice. Do not waste the seed. Do not ignore the seed. Do not run from it. That is discipline. That is obedience. That is destiny. Ed did not see the future yet, but God did. That is how purpose works. God saw the preacher inside the boy. God saw the leader inside the child. God saw the speaker inside the quiet kid. God saw the future before Ed saw himself. And that is true for you too. God sees what you cannot see. God knows what you cannot know. God prepares what you cannot imagine. You have a choice. Trust the whisper. Trust the seed. Trust the moment. Trust the message. Purpose begins in ordinary places. Destiny begins with small words. Identity begins with early whispers. Ed's journey proves it. Your journey will show it too. Now that the seed is planted, we move to the next stage. The stage where belief is tested and identity is challenged. Chapter 5: Battling the Inner Enemy. Doubt, Fear, and Insecurity. Ed grew older, but the prophecy stayed. The words followed him. The message stayed inside him. The seed waited for its time. But before purpose grows, the inner enemy attacks. Before destiny rises, fear rises first. Before calling becomes clear, doubt becomes loud. This is the truth. Your first battle is not outside. Your first battle is inside. Inside your mind. Inside your thoughts. Inside your heart. You have a choice. You can fight it, or you can feed it. That is the key. Ed felt this battle. He felt doubt. He felt fear. He felt insecurity. He felt the voice that tells many people to quit early. The voice says, "You are not enough. You are not ready. You cannot do it. You will fail. You will look stupid. You will not be chosen." You know this voice. You have heard it too. Every person hears it. Every person feels it. Every person fights it. The inner enemy does not sleep. It attacks when you wake up. It attacks when you rest. It attacks when you plan. It attacks when you dream. You have a choice. Do you listen, or do you stand? Ed did not feel strong. He did not feel confident. He did not feel chosen. He felt small. He felt unsure. He felt weak. This is the real story. Purpose does not begin with confidence. Purpose begins with conflict. Purpose begins with a war inside you. Purpose begins with fear, because fear reveals what matters. You fear what matters most. You fear what God placed inside you. You fear the life you are meant to live. That is the key. Ed compared himself to others. He compared his talent. He compared his skills. He compared his voice. He compared his confidence. Comparison kills identity. Comparison destroys confidence. Comparison steals joy. You look at others, and you see their strength. You look at yourself, and you see your weakness. You look at their success, and you see your delay. You look at their progress, and you see your problems. This is the trap. This is the lie. This is the inner enemy. You have a choice. Stop comparing and start growing. Ed felt unqualified. He felt slow. He felt behind. He felt unsure about his future. He felt the weight of expectation. He asked himself, what if I fail? What if the woman was wrong? What if God does not want me? What if my life has no purpose? What if I am not enough? These questions create fear. These questions create insecurity. These questions create emotional paralysis. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is a signal. Fear shows you the exact place where you must grow. You have a choice. Run from fear or rise through fear. Ed learned something important. Fear talks loud. Fear sounds confident. Fear uses strong words. But fear is a liar. Fear lies to stop your progress. Fear lies to block your purpose. Fear lies to silence your gift. It is not about fear. It is about discipline. Discipline says, I move forward anyway. I take the step anyway. I keep going anyway. Ed had to face his thoughts. He had to face his doubts. He had to face his insecurity. He had to confront his own mind. Your mind is powerful. Your mind can lift you, or your mind can lock you. Your mind can build you, or your mind can break you. You have a choice. Train the mind, or let the mind trap you. Ed started to hear two voices. One voice pulled him forward. The other voice pulled him back. The forward voice said, Why not you? You are called. You are chosen. You are gifted. You are seen. You are created for purpose. The backward voice said, You are weak. You are not enough. You will fail. You cannot do this. You are wasting time. These two voices created conflict. This conflict shapes every future leader. This conflict shapes every purpose-driven person. The difference between the chosen and the average is not strength. It is discipline. It is decision. It is choice. You have a choice. Choose the voice you follow. Choose the truth you allow. Choose the belief you feed. The inner enemy grows when you feed it, but the inner enemy dies when you challenge it. Challenge the thought. Challenge the fear. Challenge the lie. Challenge the insecurity. Say this in your mind. This thought is not the truth. This fear is not the truth. This doubt is not the truth. This insecurity is not the truth. That is the key. Ed had to do this daily. He had to fight the same thoughts. He had to push back the same fears. He had to face the same insecurities. This is normal. Growth is repetitive. Discipline is repetitive. Confidence is repetitive. Your thoughts do not change in one day. Your fear does not disappear in one day. Your insecurity does not fade in one day. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes practice. You have a choice. Commit to the work, or collapse under the weight. Ed also dealt with shame. Shame from the past. Shame from mistakes. Shame from insecurity. Shame from comparison. Shame tells you, you are broken. You are behind. You are less. But shame is a lie. Shame is a trick. Shame is a trap. It is not about shame. It is about truth. Truth sets you free. Truth gives you identity. Truth gives you direction. One powerful moment happened in Ed's life. He looked at himself and spoke truth out loud. He said, I am chosen by God. I am not a mistake. I am not weak. I am not forgotten. I am not alone. This is the key. Speak truth until your heart believes it. Speak truth until your mind accepts it. Speak truth until your fear breaks. Your words shape your future. Your words shape your identity. Your words shape your confidence. You have a choice. Speak life or speak defeat. Ed learned something powerful. The inner enemy grows when you stay silent, but the inner enemy shrinks when you speak truth, when you speak purpose, when you speak confidence, when you speak identity. Your voice matters. Your voice carries power. Your voice carries authority. Use it. Use it daily. Use it boldly. This battle changed Ed. It made him stronger. It made him clearer. It made him grounded. It made him aware of the power of the mind. He learned that the mind is a battlefield. He learned that his thoughts need training. He learned that insecurity needs discipline. He learned that fear needs courage. He had a choice. He chose courage. He chose discipline. He chose identity. He chose truth. You must make the same choice. Stop feeding doubt. Stop feeding fear. Stop feeding insecurity. Stop feeding weakness. Feed faith. Feed truth. Feed discipline. Feed identity. That is transformation. That is growth. That is purpose. Ed realized something powerful. He was not fighting the world. He was fighting himself. When you win inside, you win outside. When you win the mind, you win the mission. When you win the heart, you win the journey. This is the key. Your biggest enemy is not your past. Your biggest enemy is not other people. Your biggest enemy is not your skill. Your biggest enemy is your doubt. You have a choice. Do not surrender to the voice inside. Do not surrender to the fear inside. Do not surrender to the lies inside. Stand firm. Stand tall. Stand strong. Your purpose needs a strong mind. Your destiny needs a strong heart. Your calling needs a strong identity. This chapter reveals the truth. Before you fight the world, you must fight yourself. Before you lead others, you must lead your own mind. Before you rise in purpose, you must rise in identity. And now, you are ready for the next step. The next chapter will show you how God prepares you through pressure. You face the voice inside. Now you will face the pressure outside. Chapter 6. The crushing moments that shape purpose. Pressure reveals truth. Pressure exposes weakness. Pressure forces growth. Pressure shapes destiny. The crushing moments make or break you. Many people think pressure is a punishment. They think hardship is a sign of failure. They think struggle means they are not chosen. This is a lie. This is deception. This is the inner enemy speaking. You have a choice. You can see pressure as defeat, or you can see pressure as preparation. That is the key. Crushing moments come in many forms. Loss of job, broken relationships, public failure, private shame, sick bodies or broken dreams, financial collapse, lonely nights with heavy doubt. Ed faced these moments. He walked through seasons of collapse. He stood where walls seemed permanent. He lived nights that felt endless. Here's why. He asked God for answers. Sometimes answers did not come. Sometimes only pain arrived. But something else happened. A longer truth worked silently inside him. Pressure compressed him. Pressure did not destroy him. Pressure refined him like a furnace. Do not misunderstand me. This is not praise for pain. I do not say seek suffering. I do say, do not waste suffering. Suffering becomes fuel when you use it. How do you use it? How do you turn crushing moments into stepping stones? First step is to stop blaming only external things. Blame wastes time. Blame keeps you small. Blame removes responsibility. You have a choice. Take responsibility or remain a victim. That is the key. Second step is to name the lesson. Every crisis contains a clue. Ask, what is this teaching me? Ask, what skill must I develop? Ask, what weakness is exposed here? That is analysis, not shame. That is honest assessment. Third step is to act on the lesson. Do not simply feel. Do not simply think. Do something small, every day. Practice the skill. Change the habit. shift the routine. Small moves combined become the power to change. Pressure clarifies priorities. When everything breaks, the unimportant falls. When doors shut, real doors appear. Everything that mattered rises to the surface. You learn quickly what to keep and what to drop. You learn who truly stands beside you. You learn who only claps from a distance. This clarity is value. This wisdom is profit. Your job is to harvest it. Ed discovered that the hardest seasons taught discipline. They taught humility. They taught focus. They taught patience. They taught how to pray honestly. They taught how to trust without seeing. You will learn the same if you do not waste it. Do not numb the pain with distraction. Do not hide from the lesson. Open your hands and accept the training. Here is a practical map you can follow. Step 1. Pause, breathe, name the pain. Do not run until you see clearly. Step 2. Write down the facts. What happened exactly? What did you lose? What decisions led here? Who was involved? This brings clarity. It removes drama. Step 3. Ask the lesson question. What skill must I grow? What boundary must I set? What habit must I break? What truth must I speak? Step 4. Make a daily plan. One simple action every day toward growth. Repeat it until it becomes stronger. Momentum will follow. Step 5. Guard your mind with truth. You do not need their permission. You do not need every person to understand. You only need to do the next right thing. Repeat. You have a choice. That is the key. Crushing seasons expose identity. They show what you truly believe about yourself. Do you believe you are weak? Do you believe you are powerless? Do you believe you are unworthy? The answers appear in your reaction. If you shrink, you believe you are small. If you blame, you believe you are victim. If you isolate, you believe you are helpless. You must fight these impulses with truth. Tell yourself, I am being refined. Tell yourself, this is training, not punishment. Tell yourself, God uses pressure to reveal strength. Say it often until your heart listens. This is not false hope. It is spiritual discipline. It rewires the mind. It aligns emotion with truth. Pressure also reveals purpose by narrowing your path. When options fall away, the right way becomes obvious. You see your true path once the noise is gone. That is how God sometimes guides. Not with many choices, but with one clear way forward. You have a choice. Embrace the narrowing or resist it. Embrace it and move with focus. Resist it and you will wonder longer. Next, pressure requires courage to change. It demands action, not only patience. You cannot pray and do nothing. Prayer fuels action, but action must come. Ed chose action. Not reckless action, but disciplined steps. He practiced speaking truth daily. He trained his voice. He showed up even when afraid. He did the small, consistent work. That is the discipline you must adopt. It is not about the flash. It is not about quick results. It is about daily, quiet, consistent work. 10 minutes of study every day. One honest conversation every week. One step toward healing every month. Small things compound. You have a choice. Do the small things or wait for a miracle. Miracles come, but rarely without the small work first. That is the key. Crushing moments also demand faith. When everything is shaken, faith anchors you. Faith is not blind optimism. Faith is trust, built on truth. Faith is the muscle you grow under pressure. How to grow faith? Practice gratitude in broken seasons. Say thank you even if you do not feel it. Remember past rescue stories. Record every small victory. These keep your courage alive. Ed kept a list of small wins. He read it when fear shouted loud. This changed his perspective. It reminded him of God's faithfulness. You should do the same. Create the small log. Write even tiny wins. Review them weekly. They become proof when doubt speaks. Another portion of pressure is patience. Timing matters. Not every step shows fruit immediately. Trees take years to grow. Do not expect fruit the day you plant, but do expect growth. If you plant good seeds with discipline, sooner or later fruit appears. Your job is consistent planting, not immediate harvest. This is why endurance is prized. The person who endures wins more than the person who sprints. Now listen closely. Do not confuse pressure with personal failure. Do not see every closed door as God forbidding you. Some closed doors protect you from wrong paths. Some closed doors redirect you to better ones. The difference is your heart. If your heart blames and resents, you will not see the new door. If your heart asks better questions, you will find the road. So ask, what now? Not, why me? That is transformation language. That is maturity. That is readiness for purpose. Pressure can also teach humility. When you lose your status, you learn value beyond praise. When you lose applause, you learn motivation beyond people. When you lose comfort, you learn reliance on God. Humility opens new doors. It allows help to enter. It creates connection. It teaches obedience. Ed learned humility in nights alone. He learned to pray beyond the words he knew. He learned to rely on truth, not crowd noise. You will learn the same if you let the season teach you. Here is your final practice for crushing moments. Practice 1. When pressure hits, stop 3 minutes. Breathe. Name facts, not feelings. Do this before talking or acting. Practice 2. Write one correct question. Not, why me? Ask, what now? Answer it with one small step. Practice 3. Speak one truth to your soul. I am not broken beyond repair. I am being shaped for purpose. Say it out loud. Practice 4. Do one small action. A call, an email, a short plan. Repeat daily. These habits change seasons. They turn pressure into preparation. They push you from surviving into thriving. You have a choice. Use the crushing moments for growth. Ignore them and they will bury you. That is the difference. Pressure is not the enemy. It is the teacher. It is the secret gym for your soul. It makes you stronger and sharper and wiser. Ed's life proves it. Setbacks bent him, then shaped him. Pressure refined his voice and his heart. He emerged more focused, more bold, more obedient. Now you are ready. You have seen the lesson. You have learned the method. You have the tools. You will meet crushing moments again. Probably many times. But now you will respond differently. You will pause, analyze, act, and endure. You will not be destroyed. You will be designed. You have a choice. Choose to be designed, not defeated. That is the key. You learn to fight the voice inside. You learned to turn setbacks into setups. Now you will use pressure to sharpen your purpose. Now we move forward. Chapter 7. When setbacks become setups. Setbacks feel final. That is the first lie your mind tells you. Your mind says the story is over. Your mind says the door is shut. Your mind says you failed. But that is not the truth. Not even close. You have a choice. That is the key. You can see the moment as punishment, or you can see the moment as preparation. Every setback carries a message. Every delay carries a purpose. Every pain carries a lesson. And every lesson carries strength. Ed learned that the hard way. You will learn it too. You think the mistake broke you. You think the loss ruined you. You think the rejection exposed your weakness. But listen carefully. It did not break you. It built you. Pain is not the end. Pain is the doorway. You have a choice. You can stay in the pain, or you can walk through the doorway. Setbacks shape you in ways success never can. Success feels good. Success looks clean. Success gives praise. But setbacks give wisdom. Setbacks give grit. Setbacks give truth. That is the key. You do not grow from ease. You grow from pressure. Ed felt that pressure many times. Moments that looked like failure. Moments that felt like collapse. Moments that shook his belief in his future. But every moment redirected him. Every moment pushed him toward a greater path. You have felt the same thing. You know how it feels when life twists. You know how it feels when your plan dies. You know how it feels when people walk away. You know how it feels when the thing you prayed for does not happen. But hear this truth. The setback was not the punishment. The setback was the strategy. You were not being stopped. You were being shaped. You have a choice. You can fight the shaping, or you can let the shaping build you. Look at your past. Look at the pain you survived. Look at the nights you cried. Look at the moments you believed nothing would change. You made it through. You got stronger. You grew in ways you did not see at the time. That is how divine timing works. You see pain. God sees preparation. You see delay. God sees direction. You see a closed door. God sees a better one waiting. Ed had moments when everything fell apart. Moments he did not expect. Moments that pushed him down. Moments that made him question his value. But every time something broke, something else broke open. That is the key. Breakage creates openings. You are the same. Your breaks created new paths. Your losses forced new decisions. Your setbacks pushed you to new levels of strength. You have a choice. You can hate the season, or you can harvest the season. Setbacks redirect you toward purpose. Setbacks push you away from the wrong things. Setbacks guide you toward the right things. But many people miss the lesson because they only look at the pain, not the purpose. You must shift your focus. You must ask better questions. Not, why me? Ask, what now? Not, why did this fail? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? Not, why did they leave? Ask, who am I becoming because of this? That is discipline. It is not about the fear. It is about focus. It is not about the setback. It is about the strategy. Your inner enemy will try to spin lies. It will say you are finished. It will say you are behind. It will say you wasted time. But that voice is wrong. It is always wrong. You have a choice. You can believe the lie, or you can believe the lesson. Many people stop moving because of one setback. They freeze. They lose hope. They replay the moment again and again. But you are different. You are here because you want transformation. You are here because you want discipline. You are here because you want purpose. Purpose requires pain. Purpose requires pressure. Purpose requires endurance. There is no purpose without struggle. There is no calling without resistance. Ed learned this through every valley he walked through. Every valley that felt dark. Every valley that felt lonely. Every valley that felt unfair. But the valley was not empty. The valley was the training ground. You have been in that valley too. You have walked through seasons where you felt unseen. You have walked through seasons where you were misunderstood. You have walked through seasons where nothing seemed to move. But something was moving. You were growing. You were strengthening. You were becoming someone new. That is the key. Growth hides inside struggle. Setbacks are not the end. They are the setup. A setup for clarity. A setup for direction. A setup for a stronger version of you. God uses broken pieces to build strong foundations. God uses painful endings to open new beginnings. God uses unexpected detours to reveal hidden paths. Your job is not to understand everything. Your job is to stay disciplined. Your job is to stay patient. Your job is to stay moving. You have a choice. You can quit, or you can continue. And your future depends on what you choose today. Transformation starts when you see setbacks for what they really are. Not walls, but windows. Not barriers, but bridges. Not defeats, but designs. Loss shapes character. Failure shapes wisdom. Delay shapes maturity. Pain shapes purpose. That is the truth. That is the path. That is the key. You must train your mind to see meaning. You must train your heart to see hope. You must train your spirit to see direction. Ask yourself this: what did I gain from the setback? What strength came out of the pain? What clarity came out of the confusion? What growth came out of the loss? You will notice something powerful. You did not break. You built. You did not lose. You learned. You did not fall apart. You fell into alignment. Setbacks taught Ed to trust timing. Setbacks taught him to trust preparation. Setbacks taught him to trust purpose. You are learning the same thing right now. Your life is not moving backward. It is moving forward. Even when it feels slow. Even when it feels blocked. Even when it feels painful. Something is building inside you. Something is rising. Something is aligning. Something is shifting. You have a choice. You can trust the process or you can fear it. And fear will always whisper the wrong thing. It will tell you that you should have been further. It will tell you that you should have been stronger. It will tell you that you should have been ready. But hear this truth. You are right on time. You are growing at the perfect pace. You are becoming exactly who you need to be. It is not about being perfect. It is about being disciplined. It is not about moving fast. It is about moving forward. Setbacks humbled you. Setbacks grounded you. Setbacks awakened you. Setbacks reminded you of your power. You are stronger now because of what you survived. You are clearer now because of what you lost. You are wiser now because of what hurt you. That is your setup. That is your strength. That is your story. End this chapter with one commitment. Say it in your mind right now. I will not waste my pain. Say it again. I will not waste my pain. Because your pain is preparing your purpose. You mastered your setbacks. You saw the truth behind the delay. You felt the power inside the struggle. Now you are ready for the next step. Now, let us talk about what protects your purpose more than anything else. Chapter 8. Your gifts, your talents, your assignment. You were born with gifts. You were born with talents. You were born with an assignment. You were created with purpose. You were designed with intention. That is the truth. But many people never step into that truth. Many people never understand their gifts. Many people hide their talents. Many people avoid their assignment. But because fear makes them blind. Because doubt makes them small. Because insecurity makes them silent. But you have a choice. That is the key. You can stay blind, or you can open your eyes. You can stay small, or you can stand up. You can stay silent, or you can speak with power. Your gifts are not random. Your gifts are not accidents. Your gifts are not mistakes. Your gifts are clues. Clues to your purpose. Clues to your calling. clues to the life you were born to live. God placed something inside you long before you took your first step. God placed potential inside you long before you learned your first word. God placed talent inside you long before you understood the meaning of destiny. The problem is not that you lack gifts. The problem is that you do not recognize them. The problem is that you compare them. The problem is that you doubt them. Ed doubted his gifts for years. He felt unqualified. He felt unsure. He felt ordinary. He felt like everyone else was chosen while he was overlooked. But he was not overlooked. He was being prepared. He was being shaped. He was being positioned. That is the key. Preparation always feels quiet. Preparation always feels slow. Preparation always feels hidden. But hidden does not mean forgotten. Hidden means being developed. Hidden means becoming stronger. Hidden means being refined for something greater. You are in that same process. Your gifts are waiting for you to take them seriously. Your talents are waiting for you to use them. Your assignment is waiting for you to step into it. The first step is simple. You must stop doubting what God already confirmed. You must stop questioning what God already placed inside you. You must stop shrinking every time someone else shines. You have a choice. You can compare or you can create. You can complain or you can grow. You can hide or you can rise. Comparison is a thief. Comparison steals confidence. Comparison steals joy. Comparison steals direction. It whispers that your gift is too small. It whispers that your talent is too weak. It whispers that your assignment is not important. But listen clearly. That voice lies. Every gift matters. Every talent matters. Every assignment matters. Your gift might not look like others. Your gift might not sound like others. Your gift might not feel like others. But that is the point. Purpose is not copied. Purpose is crafted. You must understand something important. Your gift is not for your ego. Your gift is for your impact. Your gift is for the world. Your gift is for people who need you. This is why doubting your gift is dangerous. When you doubt your gift, you delay someone else's breakthrough. When you hide your talent, you block someone else's growth. When you avoid your assignment, you leave someone else without guidance. You have a choice. You can live afraid, or you can live assigned. People do not fail because they have no gifts. People fail because they refuse to activate their gifts. People fail because they fear what others will say. People fail because they wait for permission. But you do not need their permission. You do not need approval. You do not need applause. God already gave you everything you need. That is the key. Your talent is your tool. Your gift is your pointer. Your assignment is your direction. So how do you identify your gift? It is not complicated. It is not mysterious. It is not hidden in some far place. Look at what comes naturally to you. Look at what energizes you. Look at what people always come to you for. Look at what feels like breathing for you. That is a clue. That is a signal. That is a direction. Your gift is often the thing you overlook because it feels too normal to you. You think it is not special because you do it with ease. But ease is the sign. Ease shows alignment. Ease shows natural flow. Ease shows design. Ed discovered this as he grew older. He saw that his strength was his voice. Not just speaking, but lifting people. Not just words, but confidence. Not just messages, but transformation. But the gift did not feel impressive at first. It felt simple. It felt ordinary. It felt small. This is the trap many people fall into. They think their gift must be big. They think their talent must be dramatic. They think their assignment must be loud. But purpose is rarely loud at first. Purpose whispers before it roars. Purpose nudges before it commands. Purpose grows as you use it. That is the key. Your gift strengthens through practice. Your gift sharpens through action. Your gift expands through discipline. It is not about perfection. It is about consistency. It is not about talent alone. It is about responsibility. You have a choice. You can wait for the right moment, or you can create the right moment. You can wait for confidence, or you can build confidence. You can wait for clarity, or you can step in faith. People often ask, how do I know my assignment? The better question is, what breaks your heart? What stirs your spirit? What problem do you feel called to fix? Assignments grow from compassion. Assignments grow from awareness. Assignments grow from responsibility. Ed felt his assignment grow every time he saw someone discouraged. Every time he met someone who felt lost. Every time he met someone who felt too broken to believe again. Pain often reveals assignment. Your pain reveals who you can help. Your past reveals who you can guide. Your weakness reveals where you can bring strength. You have a choice. You can run from your past, or you can redeem your past. Your gift becomes powerful when it serves others. Your talent becomes meaningful when it is shared. Your assignment becomes alive when you walk in obedience. Do not wait for everything to be perfect. Perfect is an illusion. Perfect is a delay. Perfect is the enemy of progress. Start with what you have. Start where you are. Start with what you know. You do not need a bigger stage. You need a bigger commitment. You do not need more applause. You need more focus. You do not need a sign. You need discipline. You have a choice. You can waste your gift, or you can water your gift. You can hide your talent, or you can sharpen your talent. You can ignore your assignment, or you can honor your assignment. People think discovering their gift is the hard part. It is not. The real challenge is owning it. The real challenge is growing it. The real challenge is believing you are worthy of it. You will feel fear. You will feel doubt. You will feel unprepared. That is normal. That is human. But your assignment is bigger than your fear. God does not choose the perfect. God chooses the willing. God chooses the brave. God chooses those who say, yes, even when they feel unsure. Ed did not rise because he was flawless. He rose because he accepted his calling. He rose because he leaned into his gift. He rose because he honored his talent. He rose because he walked with purpose. You can do the same. You can rise in your gift. You can rise in your talent. You can rise in your assignment. But you must stop hiding. You must stop waiting. You must stop doubting. You have a choice. You can believe the voice of fear, or you can believe the voice of purpose. Many people bury their gifts. They bury them behind excuses. They bury them behind fear. They bury them behind insecurity. But gifts are seeds. Seeds only grow when planted. Seeds only grow when watered. Seeds only grow when exposed to light. Your gift is waiting for exposure. Your gift is waiting for action. Your gift is waiting for courage. Do not let your gift die inside you. Do not let your talent fade from lack of use. Do not let your assignment go unfinished. You were created for impact. You were created for influence. You were created for purpose. That is the key. You must live boldly in your strengths. You must step into who you are. You must honor what God placed inside you. Your gift is not small. Your talent is not weak. Your assignment is not random. Walk with boldness. Walk with clarity. Walk with confidence. Walk with purpose. Because someone needs your gift. Someone needs your story. Someone needs your voice. Someone needs your strength. You have a choice. You can limit yourself, or you can live assigned. You discovered your gifts. You understood your talents. You embraced your assignment. Now it is time to protect it. Now it is time to guard what God gave you. Chapter 9. The 2024 Encounter. A miraculous identity shift. Everything changed in one moment. Everything shifted in 1 second. Everything became clear in a way he never expected. This was the encounter that shaped his identity. This was the moment that changed his direction. This was the day his old life ended and his real life began. Ed did not plan this moment. He did not expect this moment. He did not chase this moment. This moment arrived with force. This moment arrived with purpose. This moment arrived with truth. You must hear this clearly. Identity does not shift slowly. Identity shifts in a strike. Identity shifts in a breath. Identity shifts when truth hits your heart with power. You have a choice. You can ignore this truth, or you can accept this truth. You can stay the same, or you can rise with new strength. Before 2024, Ed lived with doubt. He lived with fear. He lived with insecurity. He lived with the voice that said he was not enough. He lived with the belief that he was weak and small and unworthy. You may feel the same. You may feel lost. You may feel confused. You may feel hidden. You may feel like your identity is unclear. But clarity comes when God speaks. Clarity comes when truth breaks the lies. Clarity comes when your spirit wakes up. That is the key. You do not wake up by chance. You wake up by encounter. In 2024, Ed had that encounter. He felt something shift in his mind. He felt something move in his chest. He felt something break inside him, and something new rise in its place. This was not emotion. This was revelation. This was not a feeling. This was identity. This was not confusion. This was confirmation. His whole life prepared him for this moment. Every fear prepared him. Every wound prepared him. Every silent night prepared him. Every deep prayer prepared him. Pain did not destroy him. Pain built him. Pain trained him. Pain shaped him for this encounter. Maybe your pain is doing the same. Maybe your struggle is training you right now. Maybe your silence is not punishment, it is preparation. You have a choice. You can reject your preparation, or you can respect your preparation. You can fear your pain, or you can learn from your pain. Ed stood in that moment with a shaking heart. He felt the weight of his past. He felt the weight of his doubt. He felt the weight of his insecurity. Then everything lifted. The fear lifted. The confusion lifted. The shame lifted. It was as if God removed a heavy coat from his shoulders. It was as if God said, "You do not need this anymore." It was as if God said, "Stand up. See yourself. Know yourself." Identity is not created by people. Identity is not built by society. Identity is not shaped by approval. Identity comes from God. Identity comes from truth. Identity comes from divine clarity. That is the key. Your true identity does not come from what you lost. Your true identity does not come from who hurt you. Your true identity does not come from your past. Your true identity comes from purpose. In that moment, Ed heard something powerful. He heard his real name in the spirit. He heard his real identity. He heard his real calling. He heard the voice that said, "I chose you. I shaped you. I prepared you. I sent you." When God speaks identity, everything changes. Your voice changes. Your confidence changes. Your habits change. Your direction changes. Your assignment changes. This is why the 2024 encounter mattered. It was not just spiritual. It was practical. It moved from his spirit into his actions. It moved from his mind into his discipline. It moved from his heart into his purpose. You have a choice. You can wait for someone to name you, or you can accept the name God already gave you. You can wait for someone to approve you, or you can walk with the approval God already placed on you. Ed felt fear fade. He felt strength rise. He felt clarity enter him like light. He felt his voice change. He felt his posture change. He felt his mindset change. This was not motivation. This was transformation. This was not hype. This was identity. You must understand something. Identity is the root of action. Identity is the root of confidence. Identity is the root of discipline. Identity is the root of destiny. People struggle because they do not know who they are. People feel lost because they do not know what they carry. People feel insecure because they do not know their divine design. You have a choice. You can stay confused, or you can step into clarity. You can stay small, or you can accept your real identity. You can stay weak, or you can honor your inner strength. Ed felt God show him something powerful. God showed him his voice. God showed him his strength. God showed him his purpose. God showed him the path ahead. But God also showed him something else. God showed him the lies he believed. God showed him the fear he carried. God showed him the false identity that held him back. You cannot rise with a false identity. You cannot grow with a false identity. You cannot lead with a false identity. You must face the lies. You must expose the fear. You must confront the insecurity. That is the key. You cannot heal what you hide. You cannot fix what you avoid. You cannot build what you doubt. Ed faced everything in that moment. He faced his old self. He faced his broken self. He faced his insecure self. Then he let it go. He released the identity that was built by pain. He released the identity that was built by comparison. He released the identity that was built by fear. A new identity replaced it. A divine identity. A confident identity. A strong identity. A clear identity. You must step into your divine identity too. You must stop calling yourself small. You must stop calling yourself weak. You must stop calling yourself unworthy. You have a choice. You can repeat the lies, or you can repeat the truth. You can speak fear, or you can speak purpose. You can live limited, or you can live chosen. When Ed stepped out of that moment, he felt different. He walked different. He spoke different. He thought different. He no longer needed approval. He no longer needed permission. He no longer needed validation. You do not need their permission. You do not need to wait. You do not need to shrink. Identity is the key to discipline. Identity is the key to confidence. Identity is the key to purpose. When you know who you are, you stop living like someone else. When you know who you are, you stop chasing things that drain you. When you know who you are, you stop fighting battles that do not belong to you. You have a choice. You can stay in confusion, or you can step into identity. You can stay in weakness, or you can step into power. This encounter changed Ed forever. It can change you too. But you must open your heart. You must open your mind. You must open your spirit. Identity is not given to the passive. Identity is given to the willing. Identity is given to the hungry. Identity is given to those who want truth more than comfort. This chapter is your call. Your call to rise. Your call to wake up. Your call to see yourself with clarity. Your old identity must die. Your new identity must rise. Your purpose must lead you now. You mastered your identity in this chapter. Now it is time to master your circle. Chapter 10. Silencing the negative inner voice. The loudest battles are the battles inside your own mind. The hardest fights are the fights no one sees. The most powerful enemy is not the world around you. The most powerful enemy is the voice inside your head. That voice speaks every day. That voice speaks every morning. That voice speaks every night. It says you are not enough. It says you are too late. It says you are too broken. It says you are not chosen. It says your best days are gone. You know this voice. You have heard it for years. You have carried it like weight. You have believed it like truth. But here is the hard truth. That voice is not truth. That voice is not wisdom. That voice is not guidance. That voice is fear. And fear lies. Fear always lies. Fear always whispers the same story. Fear always says you are less than you are. You have a choice. That is the key. You always have a choice. You can feed that voice. Or you can silence that voice. You can follow that voice. Or you can fight that voice. Silencing the negative inner voice is not easy. But it is possible. It is simple, but it is not easy. It is daily work. It is daily training. It is daily discipline. Because it is not about perfection, it is about discipline. It is not about feeling strong, it is about choosing strength. It is not about waiting for confidence, it is about building confidence. Your mind is a battleground. Every thought is a seed. Every thought grows something. Some thoughts grow courage. Some thoughts grow fear. Some thoughts grow hope. Some thoughts grow doubt. You choose the seeds you water. You choose the seeds you starve. You choose what wins inside you. You have a choice. Never forget that. The inner war is real. Every person fights this war. Even the strong ones fight it. Even the successful ones fight it. Even the spiritual ones fight it. Ed fought it. You fight it. Everyone fights it. The inner voice is loud when you are scared. The inner voice is loud when you are tired. The inner voice is loud when you feel small. The inner voice is loud when you try to grow. Because growth threatens the voice. Purpose threatens the voice. Calling threatens the voice. Destiny threatens the voice. The inner voice wants you small. The inner voice wants you quiet. The inner voice wants you stuck. The inner voice wants you safe but not successful. That is the pattern. That is the trap. That is the lie. You do not need that voice. You do not need its warnings. You do not need its fear. You need discipline. You need clarity. You need truth. Practical step 1. Notice the lie. You cannot silence what you refuse to notice. You cannot fight what you refuse to name. The first step is simple. Notice the lie. Call it out. Speak it out loud if you need to. When the voice says, "You are not enough," say, "That is a lie." When the voice says, "You will fail," say, "That is a lie." When the voice says, "Why even try?" say, "That is a lie." This step is powerful. This step is necessary. Because the lie loses power when you expose it. You have a choice. That is the key. Practical step 2. Replace the lie with truth. Your mind cannot stay empty. Your mind needs new words. Your mind needs new thoughts. Your mind needs new truth. If you do not replace the lie returns. If you do not speak truth, the lie wins. So you speak life. You speak identity. You speak purpose. You speak truth. Here is truth. You are chosen. You are capable. You are growing. You are learning. You are changing. You are stronger than you think. You are further than you think. You are closer than you think. Say these truths. Say them again. Say them every day. Say them until your mind believes them. Say them until your mind obeys them. This is not empty talk. This is training. This is mental discipline. This is spiritual discipline. You have a choice. Choose truth. Practical step 3. Speak life over your story. Your story is not weakness. Your story is not shame. Your story is not failure. Your story is strength. Your story is testimony. Your story is evidence. Evidence that you survived. Evidence that you learned. Evidence that you grew. Evidence that you rose again. The negative voice wants you to erase your story. The negative voice wants you to hate your story. The negative voice wants you to hide your story. But your story is your weapon. Your story is your power. Your story is your foundation. So you speak life over your story. You speak life over your past. You speak life over your pain. You speak life over your future. Say this clearly. My story is not over. My story is not broken. My story is designed with purpose. Say it until it becomes truth in your bones. You have a choice. Choose life. Practical step 4. Build a daily thought routine. Your mind needs structure. Your mind needs rhythm. Your mind needs routine. Because discipline wins where motivation fails. Because structure wins where feelings fade. Here is a simple routine. Use it daily. Step 1. Speak one truth about yourself. Step 2. Reject one lie you heard today. Step 3. Visualize one bold step you can take today. Step 4. Thank God for one strength inside you. This simple routine rewires your mind. This simple routine builds confidence. This simple routine breaks fear. This simple routine strengthens identity. You have a choice. That is the key. Practical step 5. Limit negative inputs. Your mind repeats what it consumes. Your thoughts copy what you see. Your emotions copy what you hear. Your reactions copy what you follow. Negative inputs create negative thoughts. Negative thoughts create negative beliefs. Negative beliefs create negative lives. So protect your mind. Protect your peace. Protect your focus. Limit negative people. Limit negative voices. Limit negative environments. Limit negative content. You are not weak for protecting your mind. You are wise. You are disciplined. You are intentional. It is not about avoiding the world, it is about protecting your soul. It is not about running from life, it is about guarding your purpose. You have a choice. Choose the inputs that feed your spirit. The identity battle. The inner voice attacks your identity first. Because identity shapes everything. Identity shapes choices. Identity shapes habits. Identity shapes purpose. If the voice can break your identity, the voice can break your future. If the voice can break your identity, the voice can break your destiny. This is why God speaks identity. This is why fear attacks identity. This is why you must protect identity. Identity is not a feeling. Identity is not a thought. Identity is truth. Your identity is given by God. Your identity is protected by discipline. Your identity is strengthened by daily choices. You have a choice. Never forget that. The turning point. You silence the negative inner voice by speaking louder truth. You silence the negative inner voice by choosing discipline. You silence the negative inner voice by choosing identity. You silence the negative inner voice by choosing purpose. This is the turning point. This is the shift. This is the moment your story changes. Not when the voice disappears, but when the voice loses control. When the voice loses power. When the voice loses influence. The voice may stay, but you get stronger. You grow sharper. You grow wiser. You grow louder. Because discipline grows. Because truth grows. Because faith grows. You have a choice. That is the key. You fought the voice. You exposed the lie. You learned the truth. You trained your mind. You are not the same person now. You are stronger. You are clear. You are sharper. You are ready for the next level. Now it is time to go deeper. It is time to rise higher. It is time to see what God placed inside you. Chapter 11. Walking in your calling, destiny and anointing. Your calling is real. Your destiny is real. Your anointing is real. You may not feel ready. You may not feel strong. You may not feel qualified. But God does not choose the qualified. God qualifies the called. That is the first truth. That is the foundation. That is the key. Walking in your calling is not about being perfect. Walking in your calling is not about being skilled. Walking in your calling is not about being popular. It is about discipline. It is about obedience. It is about trust. It is about bold steps. You have a choice. You always have a choice. You can walk toward your calling, or you can hide from your calling. Every destiny demands movement. Every destiny demands obedience. Every destiny demands sacrifice. You cannot walk in your calling while you stay in your comfort. You cannot walk in your destiny while you stay in your fear. You cannot walk in your anointing while you stay in your past. God calls people who feel small. God calls people who feel broken. God calls people who feel unready. Because God provides the strength. Because God provides the clarity. Because God provides the path. You do not need their permission. You do not need their approval. You do not need their applause. Your calling came from God, not from people. Your destiny was written before your birth. Your anointing was placed on you long before you noticed it. That is the truth. That is the key. Walking in your calling begins with identity. Identity comes before assignment. Identity comes before purpose. Identity comes before influence. God cannot send you if you do not know who you are. God cannot use you if you think like a victim. God cannot grow you if you live in fear. God cannot lead you if the inner voice leads you. Walking in your calling means this. You stand in your identity. You stand in your truth. You stand in your worth. You stand in God's promise. Identity is your first weapon. Identity is your first shield. Identity is your first strength. When you know who you are, your choices change. When you know who you are, your habits change. When you know who you are, your mindset changes. When you know who you are, your future opens. This is not a small shift. This is a spiritual shift. This is a mental shift. This is a life shift. You have a choice. Choose identity. God qualifies the called. The world says you need talent. The world says you need skill. The world says you need status. The world says you need education. But God says something very different. God says, give me your heart. God says, give me your trust. God says, give me your obedience. God does not wait for you to be perfect. God works through broken people. God works through insecure people. God works through quiet people. God works through people who never felt enough. That is why your past does not cancel your calling. That is why your mistakes do not erase your assignment. That is why your weaknesses do not block your destiny. Because it is not about skill, it is about discipline. It is not about talent, it is about obedience. It is not about experience, it is about faith. You have a choice. You can see your life as limited, or you can see your life as chosen. Spiritual authority is real. Walking in your calling means walking in authority. Not human authority. Not ego authority. Spiritual authority. Spiritual authority means you walk with purpose. Spiritual authority means you speak with clarity. Spiritual authority means you move with confidence. This confidence does not come from you. This confidence comes from God. This confidence comes from truth. This confidence comes from discipline. When you walk in authority, your presence changes. Your energy changes. Your voice changes. Your decisions change. People may not understand you. People may not support you. People may not agree with you. That is fine. You do not need their permission. The anointing on your life is not a suggestion. The anointing on your life is not a decoration. The anointing on your life is an assignment. When God gives you authority, you step forward. You do not wait. You do not hide. You do not shrink. You have a choice. Choose to walk with authority. Opportunities open when identity is clear. When you know who you are, doors open. When you know who you are, people notice. When you know who you are, opportunities appear. Not by luck. Not by chance. By clarity. Clarity has power. Clarity attracts purpose. Clarity attracts guidance. Clarity attracts resources. God does not open doors for confused identity. God opens doors for committed identity. God opens doors for focused identity. When your identity is clear, your steps align. Your words align. Your decisions align. Your direction aligns. This is why identity matters. This is why clarity matters. This is why discipline matters. You have a choice. Choose clarity. Bold faith is required. Faith is movement. Faith is risk. Faith is action. Faith is saying yes when fear says no. Faith is stepping forward when logic says step back. Faith is trusting God when your mind fights you. Walking in your calling requires bold faith. Bold faith means you act. Bold faith means you obey. Bold faith means you sacrifice. Because every calling has a cost. Every destiny has a price. Every assignment requires obedience. You will need to let go of old habits. You will need to let go of old fear. You will need to let go of old versions of you. You cannot carry small thinking into a big calling. You cannot carry fear thinking into a bold destiny. You cannot carry doubt thinking into spiritual authority. You have a choice. Choose bold faith. Obedience is your superpower. Obedience is not weakness. Obedience is strength. Obedience is courage. Obedience is discipline. Obedience means you trust God's timing. Obedience means you trust God's direction. Obedience means you trust God's plan. Even when you do not understand. Even when you feel unsure. Even when you feel unready. Obedience moves you forward. Obedience opens doors. Obedience activates destiny. You do not need perfect steps. You only need obedient steps. You only need one step at a time. One step of trust. One step of faith. One step of discipline. You have a choice. Choose obedience. Sacrifice is part of the calling. Calling requires sacrifice. Destiny requires sacrifice. Anointing requires sacrifice. You will sacrifice comfort. You will sacrifice excuses. You will sacrifice unhealthy habits. You will sacrifice fear-based thinking. Sacrifice is not punishment. Sacrifice is preparation. Sacrifice is sharpening. Sacrifice is transformation. God removes what you do not need. God removes what holds you back. God removes what blocks your calling. You must release the old you, so the new you can rise. You must release the small you, so the strong you can walk forward. You have a choice. Choose sacrifice. Living as the person God designed. Walking in your calling means becoming the real you, the you God designed, the you God shaped, the you God prepared, not the you shaped by fear, not the you shaped by trauma, not the you shaped by insecurity. The real you is bold. The real you is strong. The real you is chosen. The real you is disciplined. Walking in your calling is a lifestyle, not a moment, not a season, a lifestyle. It is daily discipline. It is daily obedience. It is daily courage. You choose purpose every day. You choose identity every day. You choose discipline every day. You have a choice. That is the key. When you live as the person God designed, everything changes. Your mindset changes. Your habits change. Your circle changes. Your future changes. This is your calling. This is your destiny. This is your anointing. Ending transition. You are no longer the person you once were. You have learned identity. You have learned discipline. You have learned courage. Now you are ready for the next level. You walked into your calling. Now it is time to walk into your future. Chapter 12. Why not you? Living fully in God's design. This is the final shift. The shift from fear to faith. The shift from doubt to courage. The shift from surviving to living fully. This chapter is a reminder of something powerful. Something simple. Something life-changing. God will use someone. Let it be you. Take a deep breath. Because this chapter is about you. Your calling. Your purpose. Your identity. Your future. Let us begin. The final question. Why not you? For years, you asked the wrong question. You asked, why me? Why this pain? Why this delay? Why this storm? Why this hard season? But now God is changing the question. He is turning it around. He is saying, why not you? Why can't you rise? Why can't you break the pattern? Why can't you heal? Why can't you lead? Why can't you walk in purpose? Why can't you change your family line? Why can't you live with confidence? Why can't you be the one? God is not asking because He doubts you. He is asking because He chose you. He sees what you don't. He knows what you forget. He put something inside you that fear cannot kill. This chapter is the awakening of that truth. Living fully in God's design. You were not made to live small. You were not made to stay silent. You were not made to hide. You were designed with strength. You were designed with purpose. You were designed with intention. Every detail in your life has meaning. Every season shaped you. Every struggle prepared you. Every blessing trained you. Nothing was random. Nothing was wasted. God's design for you is not average. Not because you know everything, but because you trust Him. Not because you have great strength, but because He gives you strength. Not because you never fall, but because you rise again. This is your moment. This is your call. This is your chapter. This is your shift. God is saying, step forward. I am with you. I will guide you. I will strengthen you. I will use you. So ask yourself one last time, why not you? Why can't you become the person God designed you to be? Why can't you step into purpose? Why can't you walk with courage? Why can't you live in truth? Why can't you change your life? Why can't you rise? There is no reason you can't. There is no barrier too strong. There is no fear too loud. There is no past too heavy. There is no doubt too deep. Because God is greater. God is stronger. God is faithful. God is with you. This is where your next chapter begins. Not in fear, but in faith. Not in confusion, but in clarity. Not in weakness, but in strength. The world needs your light, your voice, your kindness, your story, your courage, your purpose. So step into it. God will use someone. Let it be you. It is not weak. It is not fragile. His design is bold, strong, wise, steady, purpose-filled. And when you walk in His design, everything changes. Your voice changes. Your decisions change. Your reactions change. Your habits change. Your thinking changes. Your future changes. You stop shrinking. You stop doubting. You stop apologizing for your strength. You stop letting fear speak louder than truth. You start living with clarity, with courage, with direction, with a peaceful heart. This is God's design. This is His desire for you. This is what you were made for. Letting go of fear. Fear has followed you for years. It sat in your mind. It whispered lies. It blocked your steps. It stole your joy. It made you second-guess your gift. It made you delay your calling. Fear is loud. Fear is dramatic. Fear is convincing. Fear loves to control. But today, something different is happening. Today, fear is losing its power. Today, you are opening your eyes. Today, you are choosing faith. Faith does not remove fear instantly. Faith gives you strength to walk with fear and still move forward. That is real courage. Not the absence of fear, but choosing to act even when fear is screaming. You can walk into your purpose with shaking hands. You can step forward even when your voice trembles. You can begin even when your heart is unsure. Because God is with you. Because He called you. Because He believes in you. Because He equipped you. Faith is not big talk. Faith is small steps with a big God. Identity anchored in truth. Your identity is not in your past. Not in your mistakes. Not in your weaknesses. Not in your failures. Not in people's opinions. Not in your fears. Not in your doubts. Your identity is in God. And God does not change His mind about you. When He says you are chosen, you are chosen. When He says you are loved, you're loved. When He says you are enough, you are enough. When He says you are strong, you are strong. When He says you are forgiven, you are forgiven. You don't need people to confirm it. You don't need approval to believe it. You don't need applause to accept it. Truth stands even when your feelings don't match it. Truth stands even when fear tries to lie. Truth stands even when your mind gets tired. Truth stands even when the world is loud. You are who God says you are. And that identity is the foundation of everything. It is the anchor. It is the root. It is the stability that keeps you strong. When you know who you are, you stop living like a stranger in your own story. You stop handing your power to fear. You stop trying to impress people. You stop chasing validation. Instead, you walk with confidence. You act with purpose. You speak with clarity. You think with strength. You choose with wisdom. Identity is everything, and yours is secure in God. Becoming who God always knew you could be. God saw your future when you were just a child. He saw who you could become. He saw the strength inside you. He saw the fire in your spirit. He saw the courage in your heart. He saw the purpose in your story. You may not see it yet, but He does. He always has. Becoming that version of yourself takes time. It takes patience. It takes surrender. It takes bravery. But every day you are growing. Every day you are learning. Every day you are rising. Every day you are moving forward. Even when you feel slow. Even when the progress seems small. Even when it feels like nothing is changing. Something is changing. God is shaping you. He is guiding you. He is building you. He is preparing you. Sometimes God hides you before He uses you. Not to punish you, but to protect you, to strengthen you, to mature you, to train you. And when the time is right, He brings you forward. He reveals your gift. He moves you into position. He opens the doors that fear tried to close. You are becoming the person God always knew you were. Not perfect, but purposeful. Not fearless, but courageous. Not loud, but steady. Not proud, but confident. Not confused, but clear. Acting with courage and purpose. Courage is not a feeling. Courage is a decision, a choice, a daily action. You act with courage when you forgive. You act with courage when you start again. You act with courage when you trust God. You act with courage when you break a toxic cycle. You act with courage when you set boundaries. You act with courage when you rest. You act with courage when you heal. You act with courage when you speak truth. You act with courage when you use your gift. You act with courage when you walk in purpose. You were not made to live confused. You were made to live intentional, focused, driven by God's voice, not fear's voice. Purpose is not always loud. Sometimes purpose is quiet, simple, but still powerful. Purpose is in your daily choices. Purpose is in your habits. Purpose is in your kindness. Purpose is in your discipline. Purpose is in your mindset. Purpose is in your obedience. When you act with purpose, you walk in alignment with heaven. You move with clarity. You live with peace. You feel grounded. You feel guided. This is how God designed you to live. Not lost, but led. Not scared, but steady. Not empty, but full. Your life is a message. You may not realize it, but your life speaks. Your choices speak. Your reactions speak. Your attitude speaks. Your faith speaks. Someone is watching your journey. Someone is learning from your growth. Someone is inspired by your healing. Someone is encouraged by your strength. Someone is touched by your kindness. Your life carries weight. Your life carries meaning. Your life carries impact. God will use your life to speak hope into others. But first, He speaks hope into you. Your healing becomes someone's courage. Your faith becomes someone's reminder. Your survival becomes someone's strength. Your transformation becomes someone's inspiration. This is why you cannot give up. This is why you must rise. This is why you must walk in purpose. Because your life is not small. Your life is a message. Final message: God will use someone. Let it be you. He will use someone to bring healing. Let it be you. He will use someone to break generational patterns. Let it be you. He will use someone to stand strong in faith. Let it be you. He will use someone to walk in courage. Let it be you. He will use someone to inspire others. Let it be you. He will use someone to shine light in dark places. Let it be you. He will use someone to live with purpose. Let it be you. He will use someone to show grace. Let it be you. He will use someone to create change. Let it be you. Not because you are perfect, but because you are willing.